Hi, I'm Andy McClure with Sherpa Business Development. Now, in my line of work, it's really important that I stay organized. I'm responsible not only for my own business priorities, but I establish and maintain the marketing and sales priorities for my clients. And this translates into a lot of communication and real risks that I miss an important piece of information or forget a critical deadline or just lose hours of productive time sitting in front of my computer. Now, if you're a business owner, you likely have very similar demands on you. You have to stay on top of what your management team is doing, what your staff is doing, perhaps stay on top of the priorities of your customers, and most certainly understand and stay on top of the priorities of your prospects. Now, for me, one of the greatest communication challenges I have is managing my email inbox. So in a minute, I'm going to show you my system for managing my email so I can be much more productive and actually make more sales in the process, right? This system is derived from the book Getting Things Done by David Allen. If you're not familiar with that book, I highly recommend you check it out. If you're watching this video on my website at sherpabusinessdevelopment.com, I'll include a link in this post so you can check out or buy that book on amazon.com. But for now, let me just go ahead and show you how I manage my email.
Okay, so now onto my inbox. The first thing you'll notice is I don't have a lot of emails in my inbox itself. I know that it's easy to sort and filter and search for messages, so systems like Outlook or Gmail can easily function as a file system where you just keep everything. But I found it, at least for me, even if I flagged messages as important like this, it was easy for me to lose track of a message that was valuable or somehow required my action. And sometimes I had the tendency to just lose hours looking through emails and forgetting why I was there just because there were so many in my inbox. So one of the results of using this system is that you will always only have a handful of messages in your inbox. So what do I do when messages come in? First of all, I only plan to look for messages in my inbox a few times each day. A major lesson from David's book is to distinguish between processing something, like emails coming in, and working on something as a task. And the way I've applied this to managing my email is to use a 2-minute rule. During those couple of times each day that I review what's in my inbox, I restrict myself to no more than 2 minutes with each message. If something requires more thought or a longer reply, I set it aside and assign myself a task that I will do separately. Managing tasks is another topic I won't cover in this video. A second habit is to copy myself on any message that I want to track. There's got to be an example in here. Let's see. Okay, so here, prep for 8:24 meeting. Here's where I sent some information to somebody to plan for a meeting, and now I'm expecting their reply. So I copied myself, and I'm going to take that message and move it into a folder called @waiting_for. And you'll see in a minute how I use that. But that's where I put anything where I'm waiting for a reply. Now this may seem redundant because there's a copy of that message in my sent items folder, but you'll see why it's so much more convenient and easy if you just copy yourself. Then it's in your inbox and it's something that you have to process and can move over to a folder that's appropriate. So speaking of folders, a third practice is to file messages that you want to keep. So one category might be something where I'm waiting for a reply. I would file it in my @waiting folder. But it might be something that doesn't require action and there is no reply that's forthcoming. It's just something that you want to hang on to. So I have a bunch of folders here, either by client or by topic. And if I want to hold on to a message, I just copy it into a folder. Well, I'll know where to look next time. This is great with clients when I have a chance to talk to them once a week or once every couple of weeks. I just put messages into their folder that I know I'm going to want to cover, and boom, when we have time on the phone, I comb through that folder of messages, and I know what I wanted to talk to them about. Okay, but again, if a conversation is still alive in some way, it goes into one of these two folders. Let me just show you some examples right now. At action, that's where the ball is in my court. I've decided I need to get back to somebody. I owe them an answer, but it was going to take too long for me to conjure up my reply, or I had to do some research first. Or it might be something that it was just going to take more than a couple minutes for me to read the message and absorb it, so I just set it aside. At waiting is a critical one that I use very frequently. It's so easy to throw the ball of a task into somebody else's court and think your job is done. It's really, you should never lose ownership of something that is important to you. So that's why I always copy myself, even when the ball's in somebody else's court. Once or twice a day, or at least every couple of days, I comb through this folder and see, okay, who owes me a response on something? Is it time for me to tickle them again, right? And that really helps you look on the ball with your customers and prospects if you really have yourself organized and you know where things stand, even when the responsibility isn't exactly yours. Okay, so let's review. Number one, process emails at only certain times of the day, not as they come rolling in, right? Don't let yourself get distracted to stop what you're doing and go take a look at that email that just showed up. It'll be there when you decide to go look. Number two, use the 2-minute rule to avoid getting sucked into writing long responses or following a link from an email to the web to look at a video, and next thing you know, you're back on Facebook and you've lost a couple of hours and you can't remember what you were doing in the first place, right? So really stick to a 2-minute rule. Every message you look at, you need to decide, can I handle this right now within 2 minutes? Can I look up my calendar and give a response to somebody? Can I read this message within 2 minutes? Or do I need to set it aside and set up a task, and I'll decide later how high a priority that item is. Number three, copy yourself on messages that need tracking so you can stay on top of everything, whether you own the task or the ball is in somebody else's court. And number four, set up folders under your inbox to keep messages by category that are useful for you to keep. Okay, so that's a quick tour of how I manage my email so that I can be on top of things for my own business, make more sales, be on the ball on behalf of my clients. And I hope that you found that useful. Again, if you are not familiar with Getting Things Done from David Allen, I encourage you to check out that book, help you with these tips as well as many other things. As always, you can also contact me directly if you have any thoughts or questions. Put a note down below or email me at andy@sherpabizdev.com.